Good morning and welcome to the WAVY Digital Desk. This month, the millions of Americans who use the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP received an automatic increase in their benefits. That change comes after a rise in the cost of living due to inflation. Today, we will speak about the latest changes and how those affect those in Virginia. Good morning, and thanks for tuning in today. Today, we're going to be speaking about those SNAP benefit changes that went into effect in October, how they affect Virginians here, and we have Virginia Peninsula Foodbank CEO Karen Joyner here with us to speak all about it. So, Karen, thank you so much for tuning in this morning and joining us. I know it's been a busy time for you all at the food banks, especially since we last spoke in March. But we want to get started and just see, is this something that you all have been waiting for, these SNAP increases due to inflation? Is that something you've been hoping for?
Anytime that there are additional benefits for people who are food insecure, we really rally around those. So this is a very positive aspect of a change. It means that maybe fewer people will end up in our lines because they're able to feed more of their family throughout the month with these increases.
Absolutely. And last time we spoke, and they were taking away benefits from COVID, and you all were waiting to the end of the month to sort of see, what was going to happen and how those lines were going to look, by the end of March. I mean, can you give some color, I guess, as to how it looked like at the end of the spring?
Yeah, I can tell you for the past 3 months, compared to the same 3 months last year, we and our partner agencies are seeing a 35% increase in the number of people visiting our food pantries and the food bank and our mobile food pantries. It's been kind of crazy. Some of that has leveled off a little bit because I also ran some numbers comparing these 3 months ended September 30th to the 3 months prior to that. And it's only increased another 3% since then. But just for July, August, September, compared to July, August, September of 2022, we have seen a 35% increase in visits to our food pantries throughout the Virginia Peninsula.
Wow. And that seems sort of monumental because during COVID, I'm sure the increase, obviously went up with that. So for it to keep increasing with during that time, no extra benefit, I imagine that really put a stretch for many people in our area.
Absolutely. And it's really a stretch for the food banks because donations of food continue to be down, and our partner agencies that access the food from us and then give it away free to individuals who come to them, they are coming to get whatever food we have, and we just don't have that much food on what we call our shopping floor. So we've had to purchase a lot of food in the last 6 months. It's been kind of crazy for us.
And I know that you all, I don't want to say weren't used to, but there was a period of time where you all don't have to put in that amount of money, into the program to get that food.
Correct. We depend highly on donated food as well as food that we get from the government, but not all of our partner agencies utilize the food that we get from the government because there's very specific rules and regulations about who can do that and how close you can be to another partner agency that does that. And frankly, some of our partner agencies just don't want to do the extra paperwork that's involved whenever the government's involved. So they come to the food bank to get whatever food we have here, and then they take it back to their community food pantry to give out. And when we don't have donated product, they're relying on our purchased product. And we've always purchased produce because we want to keep up the nutritional value of the food that we distribute. But this year, we're also purchasing a lot of shelf-stable items that we're not getting in through donations so far.
And I guess maybe you won't know how the October benefits will affect you all. I guess we'll have to see sort of at the end of this month. Is that when you kind of will learn, is this really impacting people right off the bat?
Yeah, I really don't think that we will see the impact until November. I think the recipients of SNAP may not, change their habits if they've found in the last 6 months or so that now they have to go to a food pantry or the food bank. They might continue to do that until they realize, hey, I have a little bit of extra money. I don't need to do that now. So I'm thinking that November is a better time to be able to look at the effect of the change in the SNAP benefits.
And I guess people were used to the COVID numbers that they had been getting in March. So this is still going to look different than that.
Correct. I believe it's a 12.5% increase that took place in October. And then you have what effect, if any, the additional work requirement, the increase in the age for the able-bodied workers without dependents, whether that's going to have much of an effect or not. The age requirement just changed by about 3 years. It went from 49 prior to September to 52 as of October 1st. I don't have numbers for that because that's such a small little window of who qualifies or doesn't qualify at that age group, age bracket.
And I guess the question is, and I think it might be dependent on the region, honestly, of the country and maybe even state of, how much that demographic, I guess, is impacted. I mean, that's going to really depend on the community there.
Correct. I don't think that age change is going to impact us very much. I think the majority of the recipients of SNAP probably are single mothers with children and not so much the 49 to 52-year-olds. But I can't tell you that for certain. That's very specific.
Right. And then I don't know if it was the case with you. I think we did start talking about more of the seniors or elderly population, needing to go to food banks more, who obviously won't be impacted by this exact age change. But is that something that you all are still seeing, that sort of older group still in your lines?
Oh, absolutely. We provide senior food boxes to that population as well as just our regular food boxes. I can actually tell you that about 24% of the people who visit the food bank and our partner agencies are 60 or above. And that percentage hasn't changed that much from this year and last year. So that tells me that in general, there's a 35% increase in the senior population accessing our services as well as just the general population.
Right. And then, going into this fall, with those age differences, as I said, we won't really know, the stats on that for a little while. But I guess I'm curious if this inflation rises enough, and I guess we have until next year, and then they'll make some other decisions on that. But I mean, is this the first really inflation increase that you've seen really in a little bit here?
That it's the first that I can remember. And I was actually very pleased with the amount. 12% is a decent amount. But I can't tell you the last time I remember them getting an increase. So it's probably, several years worth of increases all at once.
Right. And that makes a difference because as we know, that the shift in grocery prices and home prices and renting prices down here has really significantly changed. So if you're not seeing that until, I guess, retroactively, you're getting sort of an increase. I mean, that makes a difference year to year.
Absolutely. And food banks are the safety net for the safety net. And SNAP and WIC are safety net benefits. And when those change, whether they increase or decrease, it has a dramatic increase or decrease on the activity at food banks and our partner agencies.
And I know, when we spoke last, just in the amount of programs that you all do a lot with schools. You do a lot with, your backpack program. I mean, has that shifted a lot this summer, the need of that, going into this school year?
Actually, it has. We just started up our school year backpack program, and the way we determine how many backpacks we're going to distribute each week is based on what the school guidance counselors and family engagement specialists tell us that they need. And it's kind of taken off a little bit more than I would like it to. So right now, with our brand new program, this year, I believe we're distributing 1,700 a week, um, compared to 1,500 last year. The numbers generally go down later in the year, but we have told our various school partners that we need their number to stay stable for at least the first semester. So we'll be going with that 1,700 bags for until the end of December anyway, and then we'll let them make a change. It's kind of disruptive when you're doing a weekly program to be able to pack the right number of bags and get them out to the schools in the right number. We want it to stay stable, but I was not expecting it to go up to 1,700 this year.
Wow. And then that with, the money that you all already have having to put into the food bank, and then with, the increased need, I mean, that's a lot of hands that you all do have to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did the calculation for how much a backpack is costing us these days because we just finished our year-end audit. And so we have new numbers, but really the number didn't change from last year. Thank goodness. It's still about $9 per backpack or bag of food that goes in the backpacks. And that's in comparison to $5 prior to COVID. So it's a very expensive but much needed program in our community. So we're going to continue to operate this program. We're just going to have to look at whether we're going to have to set a upper limit to the number of bags that are going to go out each week.
Absolutely. And then, we're not there yet, but I think the holidays are starting to be on people's minds. And I know that is a period that either traditionally or in the past has been a period of giving for you all. But I know last year, I believe, with inflation, people were also struggling in the donation camp as well and what they were able to give.
Yeah, we've kind of seen a little softening of donations so far this year. I'm hoping that that turns around during the months of October, November, and December, which are the really big donation months. But right now we're doing okay, but it definitely is decreasing. The average gift is decreasing, and I attribute that to, individuals just not having extra money to donate as much as their heart would want them to. So they give what they can. Maybe instead of $100, they're giving $50. So we still have thousands of individuals in our community that have opened their hearts and their wallets to help others in need, but it's not to the extent that it was over the past 3 years.
And you all partner with a lot of agencies around here and organizations. How has that been? Are they asking for more? Do you all have any things to give them every time, whether it's a monthly or weekly thing? I mean, how have those relationships been with all of this change?
Well, we have a fabulous relationship with our partner agencies. For us, our partner agencies tend to be church food pantries and some other faith-based organizations. So if you know of an organization that gives out food on the peninsula, chances are they are a partner agency with the Virginia Peninsula Foodbank, and they get all or a great portion of the food that they distribute absolutely free from us, and they give it out free to the individuals. And I had to laugh when you said, how is your relationship with your partners, and are they asking for more? Because yes, they are asking for more, because our shopping floor has been empty from time to time, but they understand the predicament that we're in. When the need is up 35%, we just can't keep up unless we're purchasing food. And when we purchase food, you have to wait for the food to come in, and it might not be the nice variety that you get when you have food that comes in from food drives or from our wonderful community grocery store partners. But, we do the best that we can, and we keep purchasing because they keep coming and taking the food. So, yeah, if you talk to our partner agencies, they would like our shopping floor to have more food on it, but they appreciate what we do have, because they know that we are actually purchasing the majority of it.
And, a couple weeks ago, we were talking a lot about government shutdown and what would happen in that case. And, we'll see what happens in November and maybe have you back on to discuss that. But I think everybody is sort of waiting, to see what happens, because there's a lot of programs that, could also be affected by that, which could change your need again in November.
Right. What I learned most recently is that there's a possibility that this government shutdown will not be like the one that we experienced in 2018 and 2019, because that was considered a partial government shutdown, and it only affected certain federal employees and contractors, unless there's provision made in Congress, in some kind of appropriations bill, to ensure that our military gets paid. There's a possibility that this could be a deeper and more widespread shutdown than what we experienced several years ago. The individuals and the communities that we did pop-up mobile pantries for back in 2019 were like the Coast Guard, because they are part of Homeland Security and not the Department of Defense, and then the TSA workers and NASA. Over here on the peninsula, we actually have more federal workers than the south side of Hampton Roads does, because NASA are thousands of individuals, and you also have to consider the impact of people not getting paid who are federal contractors or federal employees, how that impacts the restaurants and the places that do business with those individuals. There'd be a slowdown in all types of economic activity. So we're just waiting. We're ready. We've already ordered extra food just in case. And then we've been in contact with TSA, the Coast Guard, and NASA. So those will be ready to go if there is a government shutdown. And then if we need to expand it, we will. But food banks are very good at pivoting and planning. And so you can't wait until the last minute. If you're going to have to purchase food, you got to get the food in and have it ready. And if nothing happens, if there's no government shutdown, then we have that much more purchase food for our partner agencies.
I was going to say that is very comforting to hear in what you just said, the planning aspect, that you all are, you are checking what is happening sort of nationally. You're checking what's happening with the government, and then you are going to pace, according to what problems may lay ahead for people.
Yeah. And I know the topic of this interview started out being about SNAP benefits rising, and that's going to be something else that we're going to have to really watch, because the potential for a government shutdown that includes not having SNAP benefits is just going to be pretty overwhelming, because for every meal that a food bank can provide, SNAP benefits actually provide 9 meals. So if there is not funding for SNAP included in any appropriations bill that is passed, that can be devastating to the community, especially the community that we already serve.
Right, absolutely. And, in that case, no change in inflation costs or rise or percentage is going to matter, while those people don't have government funding, for the program if that were to happen. So we'll have to see, and then, possibly have another conversation, sort of looking at what's ahead for everyone. And hopefully that does not happen. I guess we'll have to see in the next month. Yeah. But, Karen, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I guess I'm going to leave it to you. I mean, is there anything else, moving forward? I think one good thing to finish on, too, is as always, if people need assistance from the food bank, what's the best place to start getting involved?
If you need food assistance, you really should go to our website, which is hrfoodbank.org, and click on the tab that says Get Help. And that tab will show you where our upcoming mobile food pantries are going to be. And we only have 12 or 13 of those on a monthly basis. So there may not be one that is going to be close by within a couple of days when somebody needs assistance. And that's why you go further down on that page, you put in your zip code, and it'll pull up our network of partner agencies, so that if somebody needs assistance immediately and on an ongoing basis, they should really visit one of our partner agencies.
And for those watching on Facebook, I just copied the link in the chat as well for direct access. So if anyone's watching this later, Karen or not, they will have access to that link as well.
Great. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. I took the last question, so I'm going to give you the floor. Is there anything else sort of just going into this month or in this year that you want people to know or that you want to speak about?
Just that we are very grateful for the support that our community gives to the food bank, because it's not about the food bank, it's about our neighbors in need. And anytime that we can have neighbors helping neighbors, that's a positive. And I know it feels good to help people. And so if you want to volunteer to actually see some of the people you're helping, you can also go to our website and look at our volunteer opportunities, because we use hundreds of volunteers every single month. But we are grateful for the time, the money, and the food. You can run a food drive for us. All of those things makes the food bank work. And we who work at the food bank are here just to do the logistics of getting the food to the people in need. It's not about us, it's about getting that food to whoever needs it. So we're grateful for all the support that the community is able to give to us.
Well, thank you, Karen, so much. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in. You'll be able to see more information on wavy.com later today with, resource links to the food bank, as well as more information on the SNAP benefit changes. So thank you so much. And thank you all for watching.
Thanks, Sarah.